Observe without judgment, without attachment. 3 things that you feel on your inner being. Check in with the weather there. Feel the heat that is generated from your own fire keepers. Spirit winds that tend these flames. May they stay ignited with passion and purpose in all that we do. Take a deep breath.
I've seen myself reflected in nature in moments when I feel most whole, most abundant, and also in moments when I feel most depleted and in need of healing. And so I think, my relationship with understanding this give and take from nature comes from a deep and long-standing acknowledgement that she is alive. Simply that. And that which is alive deserves care, deserves space, deserves compassion and tenderness. The sanctuary itself is a Black, Indigenous, Asian, and Latinx-centered healing farm and garden. Sanctuaries are activated healing spaces that are designed in concept and in practice to support people's reconnection with their own sacred sense of purpose through reconnection with the land. Closing food systems and food justice and equity in the food system and all of these larger concepts are a part of what we do as well. But grounded first and foremost is fostering a connection. We host meditative workdays, and we always emphasize the fact that we are not ever inviting people here for what they can do for this space. We're inviting them here for everything that they can be in this space. This is not like a high-yield farm where our intent is to feed as many people as you can possibly grow food for. I think when we connect to the infinite nature of purpose, it helps us deconstruct what otherwise could be the wolf in sheep's clothing, which is our productivity, which is connected to capitalism, which has no place in nature. Nature is inherently non-capitalist.
This is our first season of growing food here at the Sanctuary Healing Farm and Gardens. Moving towards my vision of stewarding land and having like a healing hospital for Black and brown women and children, I never was going to be the person growing food. I did not grow up eating or tasting lots of foods. Never had any experience growing food. It's not only a journey into something new for the community, but I'm on that journey, like literally, with anyone who has never seen a heart seed or tasted a orange banana plum tomato or a fish pepper, or all these things that are here, I'm literally tasting for the first time in my life. And I think that's what the difference is in what we're doing here, is really trying to just cultivate a community through the food.
Farming in the Hudson Valley is a responsibility. I believe it's a responsibility not only to seed, again, justice into the access of that food, but also to invite individuals onto farms so that they develop deeper relationship and understanding with food systems as well. I believe that anybody who exists in like a farm educational space has a responsibility to talk about, slavery, has a responsibility to talk about Jim Crow and redlining, and how the long trajectory of intentional disenfranchisement that is really rooted in race has continued throughout our United States history. Malcolm X said that the revolution starts with the land. And you know what? So did so many other revolutionaries. Like, they understood that in order to foster these revolutionary values that as a society we want to espouse, well, we have to have a place to do that. We have to have a free-thinking, liberated space to do that is inviting of that. And that's not something that I think we can take for granted.
I think it's time that we start reclaiming spaces in a way in which we want to see them. I keep reminding myself that it's not about experience. It's not about experience. But when you are new coming into this, you start to get into the right and the wrong way. And through this little bit of time, our first season growing here, I definitely learned that it's really important to trust yourself and to move with that, because ultimately the land, the seeds, the plants, the crops, they're gonna do what they do. And if you're really listening and cultivating a relationship on the land that you're stewarding, there's no questions. There's no questions.
I really hope and pray and believe that my stewardship and Katie's stewardship of this land will lead to its protection in perpetuity. I really believe that this has all the power and potential to be designated a public park on behalf of the city of Newburgh, so that it is not exclusively contingent upon volunteer hands or seed money to establish this as a place of interest for people to engage with in the city of Newburgh. I remind you, we're 2 blocks away from Broadway, and yet we are a world away.
This space is really about starting something and passing it along. I think where the real change can and will happen is when we start to take that on ourselves.